Hello and welcome back to DocTrack Administrator Training. For this lesson, we'll complete our look at creating DocTrack document saving rules for SharePoint. On our last lesson, we created a basic saving rule for customer purchase orders that will archive the file in a SharePoint library. Now for the fun part. You'll remember that one of our goals is to have DocTrack fill in the column values for us automatically. That's what this section is for. Each entry in this grid is a column value in the SharePoint library that we want DocTrack to enter for us. On the left side, we specify the column in the library, and on the right side, we specify the value we want to enter there. This could be a fixed value, like a number or text. Or we could enter a tag here to specify a field in the sightline form where DocTrack should get the value. We know that we can specify the sightline field on the right by copying the tags from the drop-down boxes. But how do we specify the column from the library? Let's go back to SharePoint. While we have our DocTrack library open, I'll select the Settings gear, Library Settings, and More Library Settings. Here are the columns for our library. We're creating a rule for the customer PO, so I'll want to put the data in these columns. We'll come back to the doc type field in a moment, but for now, let's select the doc number field. Now, on the end of the web address, I'm going to look for field equals, and everything after that is my SharePoint column. In this case, it's just like the way it appears on the page, except instead of a space, it substitutes these characters. That's because the space is not a good character to use in a web address. So SharePoint translated it to include the code for that character instead of the character itself. I'll copy the text for the column heading, go back to our document saving rule, and paste it to the column value field in the first line of the SharePoint Properties table. Then for the column value, I'll grab the custPO tag and paste it here. Let's do the next field I want, which is doc date. I'll copy the field from the address bar, go back to Sightline, add another line in the Properties grid, and paste it to the column name. Then I'll grab the Order Date tag and paste it here. I'll repeat this process for the remaining fields. Okay, I have one more to do, and that's the document type. Let's go back to SharePoint and select that column from our library settings. I'll copy the field text go back to Sightline, add a new Properties line, and paste it to the column name. Now, this one's going to be a little different. As we saw in the previous lesson, I set this field up for the user to choose from a specific list of values. And here they are. Our rule is for a customer PO. And as you can see, I've included that in my list. So I'll just copy it and paste it to the column value field. Okay, that's our rule. Let's open customer orders and take it for a test drive. I've just created this customer order. From this customer PO, I've dragged to my desktop. Let's attach it. I'll go to DocTrack Flex, select the plus, and here's the new SharePoint rule. I'll drag over the customer PO, and here it is. Now let's go back to the SharePoint library and navigate to our new file. Here it is in the library. It's in the new file structure we expected. And here are the field values that my document saving rule filled in automatically. That's how you create a DocTrack document saving rule for SharePoint. And that's all for now. On our next lesson, we'll look at form output profiles for SharePoint. See you then.